I just put it on the table? That work?
Ready to go? All right, everyone, my pleasure to welcome Jim Furyk here into the interview room. Jim, a great round today, 6 under 64, now 4 under 136 through 36 holes. Could you first just kind of take me through your round today, bogey-free, 6 birdies?
Yeah, I mean, this day is going to be kind of a tale of, it's almost like two separate days from morning to afternoon. This morning it was actually cool, blustery. Wind was probably 12, 13 miles an hour, kicking up with some gusts. For my last couple holes, all of a sudden the sun popped out, the wind started to lay down, and it's hot. Now all of a sudden it's really, really steamy out there. So we'll see how that affects the blue sky and maybe a little the breeze and dryness. We'll see how that affects the golf course. But it was nice to get out there and I guess get off to a pretty good start. I had an opportunity. I missed a birdie putt at 2, but I made about a 30-footer for par on 3, and that was kind of a very uplifting, kind of key moment in the day. I shoot a couple over yesterday, kind of played from behind the 8 ball most of that back 9, and then to go out there and kind of have that putt go in was a little bit of a sigh of relief, and then ripped off a bunch of birdies. I birdied 3 of the next 4, and got it back to under par for the tournament. And then you're kind of playing with some house money. You can relax a little bit and just think fairways and greens, but just still through that back 9, 10, 11, 12, it was still pretty windy, and it started to lay down a little bit, those last 4 or 5 holes. There's a couple of really tough pin placements on the way in on that back 9.
Yeah, take us through that birdie on 18. Always nice to finish with a birdie, but especially where you were today.
Yeah, hung the drive just a touch right, kind of into and maybe a touch right to left, and that wind probably just helped me enough that it landed in the right edge, maybe in the shortcut or edge of the fairway. Kicked and stayed in, and from there I kind of had like a 3/4 8-iron in. So nice to put the ball a little short left of the pin where I wanted to. It left me uphill and a chance to be aggressive, and nice to see a putt go in. I missed the putts at 15 and 16 where I had some good opportunities. One at 15 was coming downhill and very defensive, and still knocked it about 3 feet by, and then 16 had it straight up the hill and just didn't do a good job with the read. So nice to kind of finish that way on a good note, but either way it was a good solid round.
Seems like in these U.S. Opens, you're not going to play 4 great rounds every day, and today you obviously played very well. But yesterday, you bogey 16, 17, 18 as you're making the turn. How important was it for you to kind of level the ship and kind of grind and make sure you stay in the tournament?
Yeah, the hard part was staying patient, because I feel like for the first 6 holes, I left some out there. Had some birdie opportunities and felt like I maybe could have been another shot or 2 under par, and then made a bad swing at 16 and 18 off the tee, made a bad swing from the fairway at 17, and 3 straight birdies. I made a pretty good little 4-foot comebacker for par at 1, and just kind of plodding along on the front 9. I messed up 8 a little bit on the way in, but felt like I had a chance to get to get it going on that front. Just couldn't really see a putt go in, couldn't grab any momentum. And so today to get out there and kind of see that happen, made a nice putt at 4, good solid birdie at 6, and then made a pretty good putt at 7. To see some putts roll in and get some of that momentum, it felt good.
Great. Let's open it up to questions. Start over here. Stu.
Jim, did nobody else really seem to do what you did this morning? I think the next best score for the day is 1 under, and they're still on the course. What got you changed, or why aren't there other low scores out there?
I think it was just very windy. I was able to see some putts go in, and I hit a lot of fairways, a lot of greens today. Kept the ball in good places. When I missed it in the right spots for the most part, outside of number 3, and there I made a 30-footer. So just really kind of got on a roll and got some momentum. But I thought the golf course, usually what you feel is you come out in the morning and that's your time to score, right? Usually the wind's laid down a little bit, the greens are fresh, you have a little bit of moisture on the golf course, and you can be a little bit more in attack mode. And in the afternoon, everything usually dries up, firms up. The golf course starts to play a little tougher, but I'm interested to see what happens today. We woke up this morning and looked at the weather report, and the breeze was 12, 13 miles an hour with gusts early, and now it's supposed to lay down and be, 7, 8 miles an hour this afternoon. So we kind of got, possibly some of those guys are going to probably say they got the wrong end of the draw, but we'll see. You never know. If the golf course then firms up and it gets a little firmer and faster and the greens aren't receptive, the scoring might not be good this afternoon as well. But I'm kind of interested to see how that all plays out.
I wanted to ask you about your lie on 14 with the divot behind the ball. Was that a case if you had moved the divot, the ball would have moved?
There's a good chance of it. I mean, it was on a kind of an uphill right to left lie, and the divot was on the bottom left. I mean, I'm assuming that ball rolled up and rolled right up against it. It really looked like if we moved it, it would change the ball. The good news, the divot was kind of on the inside, behind and inside left of the ball. I felt like I had a pretty good avenue to the ball, especially coming from maybe a little outside, like trying to hit a cut. Had some left to right wind. So even though it was a little bit of a hook lie, I felt like I could kind of get across it a little bit, maybe catch the ball first and use the breeze to kind of cut it back. And it got pretty lucky. I don't think it really affected the shot at all.
Do you see that happen very often out?
It's the first time I can remember that happened to me in at least 10 years. So I'm not saying it would be that unusual, but I haven't had that happen. I mean, you end up in divots a lot, but not against the divot. Usually those go back in the hole.
Right. Talk, if you would, about being able to play in front of galleries, and is this the best one the tours had this year, the largest?
I don't know if it's the largest. It probably ranks up there. I mean, we're kind of ramping up. Early in the year, they were kind of smaller, and they're growing each and every week. We've got some communities that support us really well. The Champions Tour tends to play. We're not usually playing in L.A., Chicago, New York. We're playing in some, mid-sized and smaller communities where the golf tournament is real important. I know, like last week, we would have had massive crowds, but they were limited to maybe 5,000 people a day. So I'm not sure what's allowed out here, but it is a nice crowd, and I'm sure it'll ramp up, Friday afternoon and through the weekend.
What's it like to kind of feed off of them when they're applauding?
Yeah, we missed it. I mean, I played a lot on the PGA Tour last year when we came back in July or June or whenever it was, and I played the entire year without really seeing a fan, and you kind of miss that. I guess you miss the excitement, you miss the buzz. You hear a roar over here, you wonder if that's a hole in one or, it's fun. I think it. I'm not sure it really affects. There's theories out there it affects the way certain people play, or I don't know. I mean, I feel like I have a job to do, and I'm excited to play and nervous either way when I'm competing in an event. But it sure is nice to have the fans back out cheering for us and rooting for us.
Great. Go right here.
Yeah, Jim, you're sitting in a good position heading into the weekend. Just what are your thoughts going into the final two rounds?
I guess trying to build on what I did today, as far as not necessarily the score, but I felt like I made a couple loose swings yesterday. I was real happy with being patient. I didn't go out there and kind of chase the shots that I lost on 16, 17, and 18. I kind of bided my time and shot even par on that second side, and then kind of was patient. And today things kind of happened for me. But I had kind of an idea of what I wanted to kind of do with my golf swing today, and the shots I thought were necessary for this course, and it worked out. I hit a lot of fairways today, hit a lot of greens today. Did not put myself in a lot of bad spots, and so just kind of building on that, and like I said, not necessarily building on the score, but building on the game plan that I have. And I think if I read the forecast right, I think the breeze is supposed to flip backwards. Tomorrow's going to be a little cooler, maybe some rain. But instead of the wind coming from, I guess, the south or southeast, the wind may be coming from the north for the next couple of days. So that'll change the way the golf course plays and which holes play long, short. I'm sure I'm expecting some tee boxes to move. We've played, the tee up at 18 both days. We played the tee up at 12 both days. I'm expecting we'll probably see some back tees, especially with that wind turning around and, 18 not playing as long. Then again, if it turns into our face at 12, maybe we won't see that back tee.
Okay.
So we put the front tee downwind, so who knows?
Other questions for Jim? All right. Jim Furyk, thank you. Great play.
Thanks, y'all.